Hey, this is Jeff Jarrett, the king of the mountain and founder of Global Force Wrestling, and you're listening to WNS Podcast.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or find us on Facebook by searching WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron and Tyler Hebert.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
And I'm Dave Brown.
And we welcome you to episode 338 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Beyond Pod, Stitcher, Player.fm, all those good things by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast. You can also follow us on Twitter at WNS Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at WNS_Daniel. You can follow Tyler at Tyler_Hebert. Unfortunately, he's not going to be here this week, so stepping in, the one and only Get Down Dave Brown.
Appreciate you having me, man. I haven't been on in a while, man. Appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you stepping in this week, filling the spot for Tyler as he's recovering from the hurricane and everything that happened in our little part of Texas that was pretty much underwater.
Pretty much, man.
For a
swim to get here, bud?
Luckily, the highways cleared out just enough for me to make it.
Thank God.
Yeah. So I certainly want to thank all of the listeners for their thoughts and their comments on the well wishes for us. Fortunately, our homes are okay. Tyler's parents, unfortunately, they got some water damage in their home, so that is one of the reasons he is taking this week off so that he can help get all of that in order, get the carpeting out, the furniture and all that. He's having to move stuff, and so he'll be back sooner rather than later. So again, we want to thank everyone for your well thoughts, and it's been a crazy couple of weeks.
Oh man, yeah. I think last week I just forgot what day it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think most people did. It was just it was so hectic. You were like, man, I don't even know what day it is.
Have you returned to work?
I went back one day.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, y'all just go home, because I think they said about 40 people that are at our place. I think we have about 75 people we employ, and about 40 of those people, their house was
gone.
Not gone, but
had damage.
A few of the houses were destroyed, but pretty much almost half of our workforce had their house have water in it. So.
Wow. That
sucks.
sucks.
So I appreciate you having me on, because I probably won't be seeing much daylight for the next month or so. I'll probably be working. So.
Something to get you out of the house, and that's kind of why I wanted to do the show. I was getting a little stir crazy. I was like, I got to get back to some form of normalcy.
Oh man.
So we got so fortunate. I had water in my garage, but luckily
mine too.
The sandbags that I put down held true. Because when I went to move them, water just started pouring out of them.
I had to mow grass today, and I had sandbags over a trampoline, and those things had to weigh at least 100 pounds apiece. It was insane how much water they got in those things.
Yeah. So, it's going to be a long time for us to fully recover in this area.
For sure.
If you're one of the listeners who might have donated some money, we certainly thank you for that. And now we're looking for help. I'm sure in Florida, our thoughts are definitely going out to them as they're getting ready for Irma to strike. Yeah. Also, all the wildfires that are taking place in Montana and all the other states up there. I mean, it's crazy going on right now.
The weather in August and September is just a bitch, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, we've got Irma. There's another one right behind it.
Jose? Is it Jose?
Jose's in the Gulf.
Oh, okay.
And that one's looking like it's not going to be heading our way, thankfully.
Yeah, I think.
But there's Kitria.
I thought that was the one in the Gulf. I thought the one behind Irma was.
You're right.
But
Jose is behind Irma.
But I watched the weather today. I watched Channel 6, and they said nothing's coming to us because of the high pressure systems and things like that. I'm not a weatherman. Don't quote me on it. But,
all I know is that at the moment, we're okay.
Yes, that'll work for me.
And
it feels like it's January right now, and I'll take that, too.
It feels great outside.
Yes, it's never this cool in September.
One thing that's weird is that we have to do, the majority for our radio station, the majority of our station remotes where we go out and broadcast at different places, all of those have been canceled.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was one for the university, Lamar University, that we were supposed to be doing tailgating, and they're saying it's still on. I'm like,
well, that's good.
I mean, it'll be a nice escape, I guess, for some people, but I'm not expecting a large crowd to show up at that because
they're also doing high school football this Friday.
Yeah,
I heard Nederland's
schools aren't even in.
No, yeah, Nederland hasn't even started school, which I swear, my kids need to go to school. 3 first graders in my house, they need something to do. They need to go
get them
learn.
out of the house.
Yes, yeah.
You got to learn them.
Yeah, they're gonna learn something.
Get homeschooled this whole week.
No. They learn how to play Mario Brothers. That's all I've taught them this past 2 weeks.
Well, then that's a good parent right there. So thank you, Dave, for stepping in for Tyler this week.
My pleasure, man.
For the listeners out there, thank you again for all of your support and your concern. We'll talk a little bit about Raw. We'll talk a little bit about SmackDown. Since we were 2 weeks behind, there are a lot of hot topics that are going through the world this week. So we'll get into those and maybe have a few lengthy discussions. To kick off Raw, John Cena had a match against Jason Jordan. Then Roman Reigns came out and said, hey, man, it either took you 20 minutes to beat a rookie, as he's saying it, which is funny because they said that Roman Reigns joined the developmental at one particular point in time, and Jason Jordan was 1 year after him.
Oh.
So he's a far from a rookie, but I get what they're saying as far as maybe being up on the main roster, which they've done that in the past. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are giving slack for that, saying, "Oh, you shouldn't have been calling him a rookie." And I'm like, if we're seeing him on the Raw roster or on the main roster for the first time, then technically he's considered a rookie.
Well, that's how Vince does. I think it's if he acts like you get a fresh start. It's like you could be in NXT for 6 years and you pop up on Raw and you're like, they act like you've never seen him before.
Who's Bailey?
Yeah, what? Huh? Who's that?
Yeah. So John Cena defeats Jason Jordan. Then Roman Reigns and John Cena have a really nice standoff. I don't know if you've seen the video of it or not with their confrontations, but Roman's going full blown heel, and it's actually turning the crowd in favor of Cena.
Good.
So,
I think it's good. Did you see that? Did y'all talk about that? The promo they did the week before that also?
Well, last week we didn't have a show.
Okay, that's right.
So
I like that promo. I watched that.
Yeah.
That was actually them going back and forth, and it kind of, I don't know, Cena was kind of digging into Roman.
Supposedly there was only one line in that whole promo that was ad-lib, and that was
great. I'm glad they did that, because it needs to be that. It needs to be more off the cuff. It needs to be not scripted, because you can feel it, and you can also feel it when it is scripted.
Yeah. Supposedly the only line that was ad-libbed was by Cena, and was like, it's a promo, kid. You're going to have to learn how to step up. So, and it does add to that realism of like, dude, they're wanting you to be me. They're wanting you to take my place. The only reason I'm still here is because you're not doing it.
Right.
For whatever reason, he's not connecting with the crowd, or however they want to word it.
He needs to be a heel. The people want him to be a heel.
Yeah. But at this point, is he already a heel? He's a heel in the eyes of the diehards, but in the kids' eyes, he's still their hero.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You calling someone calling him a fake ass bitch? That's kind of heelish.
Yeah.
Although you could say Stone Cold was known for doing
he's
similar
an anti-hero.
stuff.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So we're portraying, or we're continuing the storyline for that, where this week at least, Roman challenges him. He's like, all right, you want to shut me up? Go ahead. Do it. Show me what you got. This is your chance. And Cena kind of just smiles and stands back, and Roman's like, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Made him look like the bitch, I guess, huh?
Yeah. It was basically Roman's turn to try and get the one-upsmanship. So I wasn't really looking forward to this matchup, but the way that they've been carrying these promos together, I wouldn't mind seeing them go.
I'm telling you, man, I'm liking Cena more and more. People have bashed him for years, but these past 3 or 4 years, he's really done a lot of things that people are starting to respect.
Yeah.
People are chanting during his matches, this is awesome. They gave him the United States title, and he made it relevant.
Yeah.
That title.
The Open Challenge, I think, was the best thing that they could have done for John Cena.
He's making things relevant. People can bash him all they want, but I think now they're starting him now he's just getting plain respect.
Yeah.
For everything he's doing.
Yeah.
And it's good. And I think he's doing great things for Roman too. He's only elevating Roman.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the there's still going to be those people who are anti-Cena for whatever reason that they are.
But you need those people. But bottom line is they're You need those people as long as they're going to watch every week.
Yeah.
And they're vocal.
But
so
it's starting, it's starting to get to the point where it's that Kurt Angle level of you suck, where now it's more of a term of endearment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
Like if John Cena were to take off for a year or so and he comes back, I think he would get a strong reaction.
Oh, for sure.
And I think this match, as strange as it's going to sound, Cena's going to be pure babyface and Roman's going to be pure heel during the course of the match, at least.
Oh, for sure. I agree 100% on that one.
So we'll look forward to that match as it gets ever closer. I believe it's No Mercy. No Mercy is Raw. Hell in a Cell is SmackDown.
I would figure. I don't know, man. I think they're pulling the trigger on that match too soon. That to me seems like a Survivor Series type deal.
They've been doing that a lot lately.
Really? Not only because I'm going to Survivor Series, but but I mean,
are you going like the whole weekend?
No, me and my wife and my kids. This is going to be like the first pay-per-view my kids have ever been to. So yeah, I got that for my Christmas present. So
nice.
But yeah, we're just going to go Sunday and spend what are they now? They have is it like SummerSlam type deal? They have access type deals. Oh wow.
Well, no, it's not going to be access, but it's going to be the 4 events in one venue. It's going to be NXT Takeover. While that's not officially announced yet, I happen to know that kind of.
Well, I'm pretty sure. Get the inside deal.
Yeah, I might know a guy who works over there. There's going to be NXT Takeover, Survivor Series, Raw, and SmackDown.
Oh, okay.
All at the same venue.
Oh wow. Let me guess. You're probably going to all of them, huh?
If I can swing those tickets,
I'm pretty sure you know a guy.
Well, I'm like I said, I know a contact, and I've been working on it. I'm trying to get it for the station.
Yeah, there you go.
But we'll see how that plays out.
Right.
If you see me at Survivor Series, that'll be why.
Nice.
Other than that, I'd be fine watching it at home.
Yeah.
Just because it's one of those things where I've gotten to the point where I love being at a wrestling show, but I hate the crowd.
I'm the only thing I hate, and it's not the crowd that I hate. What I've gotten so used to as a kid, and I've loved it, is the commentary.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't hear the commentary, you're like,
it's just weird.
Yeah, because I grew up with Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon and all these great commentators. And it's just like, when you don't hear them, you're like, man, something's missing.
Speaking of commentary, how much fun did you have doing commentary for Hurricane Pro not too long ago?
Man, it was a blast. I wish my schedule would allow to be at every one of those.
Yeah.
But Jim Dixon does a great job, so I can't complain. But man,
don't compliment him.
Hey, he does a great job, man. But dude, I wish my schedule would allow me to do. I had more fun than ever. Like the first one, I was nervous as hell, and I was really bad. I'm not even gonna lie, but it was my first time, so I was kind of trying not to be hard on myself. But the second time, me and Coop just it was crazy how organic it felt, and it was great, and I loved it, and I wish I could do it more. Like, Curtis will text me, go, hey man, can you do commentary? I'm like, I wish, but he schedules the events like every time I'm on nights.
Yep.
It sucks.
Or every time you've got to go somewhere, or you got something planned.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I did the commentary with Jim, and that was a lot of fun. And by the end of the program, I had sort of found my groove.
Right.
But the first couple of matches, it was so rocky, and I wish they would have edited it out, and I tried to get them to, but I accidentally called AJ Rush AJ Styles.
Oh, well.
Which, I mean, it's not a bad name to call him.
He didn't edit it out? Wow.
No.
Well. Hey.
Oh, well. What can you do?
Yeah.
You go in and listen for one line.
Hey, man, I've heard big commentators getting flack for not knowing guys' names. So
yeah.
If you're, we all screw up.
It's just it was just so programmed into my brain. When you hear AJ, you think Styles. And I'm sure if it would have been a couple years ago, it would have been Lee. So.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Whatever. But yeah, I would love to have more free time, because I'd love to do more stuff for the podcast.
Right.
Like, because I used to do like live streaming on Twitch, and I'd love to get more content on the YouTube channel, but it's just
man.
I can only dedicate so much time.
Hey, man, married life and kids, and you'll find out about kids eventually, man.
One of these days.
Hey, you think you have no time now? Wait till you have kids, man.
We'll get there. Not anytime soon. We're still
enjoy the married life for a little while.
Yeah,
while you can.
A couple more vacations at least.
Oh yeah.
Before we do something like that, I think we're talking about getting a dog, but
us too. But I got 3 kids that want a dog, so it's like, man.
See, that's that responsibility I was telling you about before the show.
Yep.
So, so going back into Raw, Sheamus and Cesaro had a match against Rhino and Slater. Sheamus and Cesaro got the quick win. It was about a 3-minute match. Whatever.
Yeah.
Miz goes up against Jeff Hardy. During the matchup, the entire Miz Taraj and Matt Hardy were kicked out. Maurice was left in there, and she got a little involved, but it wasn't enough to say that was a dirty win.
Right.
Miz ended up getting the clean win over Jeff Hardy to retain the Intercontinental Championship, and I originally thought that was going to be a match taking place at No Mercy.
That honestly, all these matches seem like they'd be great on the pay-per-view, but I'm pretty sure they'll happen again. I'm pretty sure that they'll probably have a rematch. I mean, not for sure, but man, I'm loving the Miz. Everything I've loved him for years, man. He's one of the last true heels that wrestling has. He really is. And
the great thing about it is that he loves it.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever he's off doing promotional stuff and he's out of his so-called character,
right,
you can tell he is just like the biggest fan of the business. He loves what he's doing.
Right. And I'm hoping the other two guys, I'm going to see
Dallas and Axel.
I hope they get a push from this, and I mean, they already have
something.
Yeah, I'm hoping it helps. Not just them being lackeys for the Miz, but hopefully they'll start getting more ring time. Hopefully.
I mean, if anything, they're getting airtime.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. They'll tell them, these guys are getting buried. Like, no, they're not.
They're on TV.
They're on TV. They might not wrestle. Yeah. Well, guess what? They're on more than most of the roster. So there you go. Hey, they're on TV. They're getting paid. That's what they were
on TV this week. Bailey was not.
Hey, there you go.
It's one of those. It's weird, but yeah. So I thought this was going to be the pay-per-view match, but it ended up taking place a little bit early. They had the cruiserweights in action. Enzo teaming up with Cedric Alexander and Gran Metalik to go up against Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, Noam Dar, and the good guys win. Although Enzo's using a little bit dirty tactics to win. So
hopefully they make him a heel. I hope.
Yeah. Either a heel or a manager.
Yeah. What's your opinion? I mean, do you think, because I know I've heard of this on the internet a lot, do you think 205 Live should go away? Or do you think they should?
Not away.
Think?
I've been saying this for a number of months. I think that they should film it at Full Sail. I think because the success that the Cruiserweight Classic had was partially built with that crowd.
Right.
They know who the stars are. They know where the action is. You take it out of Vince's control and give it back to Triple H, put it Full Sail. You could have 1 hour of NXT, 1 hour of 205 Live. Boom, you're done. I understand that they have like scheduling issues for SmackDown because it's kind of like, okay, well, you've got 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours for SmackDown. We need something to fill that third hour. But I know somewhere along those lines they also film Main Event, which I'm surprised that's still going, but that's probably due to TV contractual obligations for other countries, because that's obviously not in the States. But I've been saying, put it on the network. I mean, it's already on the network. Right. Put it back in Full Sail.
Yeah, I mean, I never really thought of that. That's a pretty good idea. Honestly, I was all for just canceling it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, you can't, to me, every type of wrestling has its spot. But to dedicate, I mean, at 205 Live, how many hours is just 1 hour?
It's just 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
To me, it's just too much of the same style.
Yeah.
You can't, I mean.
Well, and not even that. They're not getting to be able to let loose,
right?
Like they did in the Cruiserweight Classic. It's okay. You're going to wrestle our style of match. Everyone's familiar with what the WWE style of match is. Where they're not getting to do the oh my God, did you just see that flips? They're doing the safe dive off the top rope.
Everybody does the same flips.
Tope suicida.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It's just I understand WWE's point of view is like they don't their health is a big. Their safety is a big issue. But also, it's just, I mean, you can only, on a roller coaster, you have to have ups and downs. You can't just nonstop be at the top all the time.
Yeah.
Eventually, you have to take a break. I mean, that's my take on it. But, I mean, honestly, the NXT crowd would probably love that.
Yeah.
Like you said, I mean, that would be
and
great.
that way you could infuse some of the NXT talent who might not be getting used. You can infuse some of the UK talent because they're supposed to be getting their own show, and they're sort of in limbo right now.
Why don't they just mix 205 Live and the UK guys?
Yeah.
I mean, because they're pretty much all the UK guys are all the same size with that.
You could have the 205 Live championship or the Cruiserweight Championship integrated into NXT. So that way you have a minor title, your NXT title, your tag titles, your women's title.
Right.
You know, that to me would flow so seamlessly between the UK, 205 Live, and NXT. If you have it sort of as just one big bundle where you're going to see guys on this show, and then the very next hour you're going to see them fighting someone else.
Right. And I think, I mean, going to the NXT, I mean, honestly, I haven't watched NXT in a while, to be honest with you, because it's kind of gotten stale to me.
Yeah. Well, they've lost so much star power bringing them up to the main roster.
And it's going to, I think it's just going to take time for those guys in NXT to get noticed. I mean, you can't just push a guy on somebody and just, love this guy.
This is the new guy now.
Right, yeah. It's like, I mean, who's the champ now? Is it Galloway?
Yeah.
That's,
McIntyre, sir.
McIntyre, whatever.
The chosen one.
Yeah, which is good, though. I mean, and now I think they're getting a lot of ROH guys in.
Adam Cole, Bobby Fish.
Right.
Yeah.
So those guys, which is honestly that's probably a smart move. Because those guys are already established. And those guys have been in Florida.
They just signed Leo Rush and Jonathan Dijak. I don't even know how to say his last name.
Dijak, or I don't know.
JD instead of DJ.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, and I saw him a few times in ROH. Just, I mean, he seemed pretty solid as far as an in-ring performer.
Big guy.
Yeah, but he's big, but he's not really muscular. He's kind of tall and skinny. You remember Nasty Nick Daniels?
No.
Oh, come on, man. You never, you didn't go to GCPPW shows? Come on, man.
I did.
This guy, man, he had his frame. He quit wrestling a while back. But good worker, though.
Yeah.
He wrestled a lot for Texas All-Star.
But yeah, I mean, you incorporate those three into one sort of umbrella,
right?
And I think that would be phenomenal. And that way you could also phase in some of the ladies who are coming in from the Mae Young Classic. I haven't gotten a chance to check out the Mae Young Classic yet.
I'm on Facebook and they keep showing these promos. I'm like,
no, avoid spoilers.
Yeah,
keep scrolling.
It's just really just their interviews before they go through the curtain. For the match, which is great. I think that's an awesome idea. Which I really want to check it out. Hopefully, I might be able to check some of those out tonight. Yeah, and I think it's a few people from Texas. A lot of girls from Texas are in that, and hopefully they'll get a push. Hopefully, yeah. I mean that Ember Moon she's from Texas. I mean she's getting monster push. I mean I wish she would give it a title, but
she'll probably be the one who gets it now that Asuka is going to be going up to the main roster. Right. Which they've
she's
pretty
hurt
much
right now, isn't she?
Yeah, she's out with an injured collarbone. That being Asuka. Right. She relinquished the title and said, "Once I heal up, I'm going to be either on Raw or SmackDown." And I heard rumors that right now it's rumored that she's going to Raw.
That'd be good. Or really either one. It doesn't really matter.
I mean, she'll be successful whichever one she goes to.
Definitely.
Yeah, man, I've been the biggest advocate for that moving 205, just because you have your crowd sitting through 2 hours of SmackDown, which is fine. You have your main event, you're sending the crowd home happy, and then it's like, oh wait, we still have an hour of cruiserweights that most of you have no idea who it is because you're probably not watching the network. Like similar to you, I haven't been keeping up with NXT. I'll watch the takeovers because they're badass.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, I'll watch every takeover for sure because they're WrestleMania type. I mean, honestly,
I might start tuning in now that Adam Cole's there because I've been a big fan of his for a while. But yeah, it's just one of those, and it's one of those things which we've talked about here on the show many times. There's only so many hours you can dedicate to watching wrestling.
For sure. I mean, and that's like you said, they're going to have another show. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah, you kind of got to pick and choose.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of times I don't get to watch SmackDown. I mean,
you got 3 or 4 hours for a pay-per-view, 3 for Raw, 2 for SmackDown, an hour for 205, an hour for NXT. Then you got the Mae Young Classic that's releasing in 4 episode formats, which are an hour each. Yeah. So it's just like, good Lord. And then there's other promotions, GFW and Lucha Underground and Ring of Honor and New Japan.
Yeah, honestly, I'll try to watch New Japan when I can.
I've got it set on my DVR and it keeps the most recent 5 episodes.
Right.
I'm burnt. It's done. I'm done with it. I can't. I just don't have the time. Yeah. If I had the time, I'd be all about it.
Well, my kids love the network and things, but honestly, I'll watch older stuff a lot of times, like from when I was a kid. You know, the early '90s, mid '90s. You know, the Attitude Era type things. When I was like still a teenager, but a little older.
I've only gone back and watched like one or two episodes of the WWE Network, like the old-fashioned Raw, and that was whenever they came to Beaumont.
Right,
Just because, like, it was kind of weird to see, like, the matches take place. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the Montaigne Center.
Right, yeah.
And then I saw a dude that I graduated with, but it's, like, early middle school him. So I, like, screenshot it and sent it to him. He was like, where did you even find this?
Do you find it crazy? And this is me. Sometimes I'll think, like, because I remember the first match I ever went to. It was an NWA show, but it was at the Civic Center. Like, I'll be sitting doing I was doing commentary. I was like, wow, this is where, like, the first match I ever saw was at, and I'm actually getting to be a part of wrestling. It's just crazy to think. I mean, it's not by any means the same scale as that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just crazy to think.
The first wrestling that I ever saw live was WWE. It was a Monday Night Raw at the Montaigne Center. There was Bret Hart. I remember that. I had to buy the Bret Hart sunglasses because that day I went and got my eyes tested. Oh. And they had to dilate my eyes. And so they were like, no, don't look at any bright lights or anything like that. And so I rested my eyes, went to the show, and then I was like, oh, they're going to have pyro.
Oh, wow.
Like, they're going to have the fireworks go off. And so I begged my parents. I was like, please just give me the glasses. I'm going to need them.
Yeah.
And so
that's crazy. People get the glasses because they want them. You had to have them.
I needed them.
So you didn't go blind.
I needed them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my eyes were still my pupils were still a little dilated, and so I had to buy the glasses.
Wow.
It's not because I was a big fan of Bret Hart. I mean, I was, but, Shawn Michaels was where it was at.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
So, fun little fact about me. In order to prevent myself from going blind, I had to buy some Bret Hart sunglasses. Yeah, but going back into Raw, we had a Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt promo, which it was the biggest waste of time. Like, Bray Wyatt's lost so much credibility. Yeah. This feud is helping Balor not one bit. It's like, okay, you, along with everyone else, beats Wyatt.
Right.
So you already got the win at SummerSlam. Why is this continuing?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Bray Wyatt. That is frustrating to me because that guy has so much potential. But he's like, he could be this generation's Undertaker.
Yes. He could have been.
Yeah. But now they're just like, we'll do whatever. They'll put him with his family. Then they'll take it away. Mm-hmm. Then it's like, well, now he's just, you put him, it's ever since WrestleMania. When I watched WrestleMania, I just was like, what the hell is this garbage?
Mm-hmm.
Pictures of worms on the ring. I mean, it was kind of goofy because you'd never seen it before, which is cool. But come on, man. Let's just stop. Yeah. And now they're just doing whatever. And like you said, they're gonna basically feed him to Finn Balor to beat again. Then what are you gonna do with him?
You're going around calling him a god,
right?
But he's losing to everybody,
right? Yeah, he's getting beat by pretty much everybody on the roster. Like, what can you do?
What's really funny, I'll be completely honest. I saw a comment about this feud, and someone commented, was like, "I can't believe that they tarnished Bray Wyatt's championship run," and I had completely forgotten that he had won the championship.
Yeah, I mean that's what's crazy. He only had it for a month.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he did zero with it.
Yeah.
Nothing. And he lost to Orton in one of the most anticlimactic WrestleMania matches ever. I was just like, that's how this match ended?
Yep.
The worms and all this ball on the ring, and then just like, oh, he just lost. We get hit with an RKO. And it wasn't even like anything fancy, like, a Seth Rollins jumping off a guy's back into an RKO. He probably just took the RKO, and that was it. Yep. Didn't even kick out. I mean, he might have kicked out of one. I don't know. But that's how, I don't really remember.
That's pretty much it.
Because I don't really care. I mean,
I forgot that they faced each other
exactly,
at WrestleMania.
Yeah. And that's what's crazy. It's like, man, you're doing zero with this guy. Mm-hmm. And now Randy Orton's getting steamrolled by what's his name?
Shinsuke.
Yeah, which is honestly that's where that's
well, they used him for Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
As a credible guy. Oh, I got 3 wins over you or whatever, even though it wasn't clean in any of them.
Right.
But now you got Nakamura, who also took the loss. So I mean, they're trying to build Jinder, but I honestly think his run's coming to an end soon.
Yeah, I don't know if people are really buying into that guy. Which, I mean, do you blame him? You buried him for how many years?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily that. It's more along the lines of you can only be a chicken shit heel for so long before you finally get caught. Your comeuppance finally happen. So I think we're coming to the end of it.
Well, hell, look how long Rollins did it.
Yeah.
I mean, he had what was it, Jamie Noble, and who else was it? I mean, for
Joey Mercury.
Yeah, almost like a whole year just screwing everybody.
Come on, Kane!
But I just think Rollins' abilities helped him. So, I mean, besides,
let's see, we saw Emma teaming up with Nia Jax to go up against Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks. And the stipulation was if Emma and Nia Jax win, then they get added to the championship match at No Mercy, which that ended up happening. So now at No Mercy, the match will be a fatal 4-way.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm just not that big into Nia Jax. I can't. I'm not really that big into her.
I think that this is how they're gonna get the belt on her. Believe it or not, like she's not gonna be dominant. Right. She's gonna end up like pinning Emma.
Right. So she's gonna hit a finish on somebody that's already
down,
or somebody's gonna hit a finish on somebody, and she's just gonna chunk them out of the ring, and she's gonna get the pin. Watch, that'll happen. Watch.
Yeah. But the most important thing that you need to remember about Nia Jax, she's not like most girls.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
Probably a man, but that's probably why.
No, it's in her theme.
Oh, whatever.
She's not like most girls.
I don't know the words to that theme.
That's about all I know.
I wish Emma would get more of a push because, man, she was doing so good in NXT, and then they just did nothing. It's like they did all those promos for months, and then they didn't do anything, and then she just like, come on,
it's that
man.
lovely transition from NXT to the main roster.
It was so
where
frustrating.
They just can't do it.
She was so good, and she's friggin' hot, but she's so good though.
And she's Australian.
I don't even care where she's from. She's a badass wrestler. She can work, and she's great on the mic.
Zack Ryder's no longer dating her.
I mean, is she single or not?
She could be.
There you go.
After that, we got to see Ambrose and Rollins team up to go up against Gallows and Anderson. Another kind of match. It was fine. Sheamus and Cesaro were on the outside. The match concluded. Ambrose and Rollins get the win. Then Gallows, Anderson, Sheamus, and Cesaro scrap. Like, we came back from commercial, they were all standing in the ring, like, arguing.
Right.
And then afterwards, they all, went at it, went after each other.
So there's going to be, a 3-way tag team match, probably?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean...
Which maybe I can get your insight on that, because
okay.
I've asked the guys this before, and we can't find an answer. You're a former referee, so maybe you have some kind of explanation for this. In a triple threat tag match, why are there only 2 people allowed inside the ring?
Honestly, I don't know. That really baffles me, too. I don't know why. I think it's stupid.
I think it should be triple threat rules. Yeah. You can tag your partner,
right, and
that's it.
Yeah. I think that, honestly, I agree with that. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I've seen tag team matches where it's a triple threat and they let 3 people in. Yeah. Not happened very often. Most of the time it's 2 people. Yeah, I don't...
I mean, is it just to keep some sort of order?
I guess so, because the ref can only handle so much at one time. And then and usually in any other triple threat match, you can go anywhere outside the ring. Yeah, because there's no rules. So I guess.
And people would argue that if it is like traditional triple threat standards, where there is no disqualification, then what's the point of what's stopping the other 3 guys outside the ring from coming in?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no rules, so anything can happen. This might as well be a tornado tag.
Yeah.
Which, that's stupid anyway, because there's no tags in it at all, which is why they call it a tag. I'm not sure.
Like that cage match that the Hardy Boys and who else was it that they had not too long ago where Jeff went out of the cage, then went back in, and they ended up losing or whatever.
I don't know.
I forgot. I think it was Sheamus and Cesaro.
Probably was, yeah.
That was when they were champions. Mm-hmm. That was a tornado tag match. Steel cage. Holla players. Then we got to see the main event, Braun Strowman going up against Big Show. I really don't know why Big Show has shaved his beard, and he had the full-blown beard,
right?
And it looked okay. It looked a little stringy.
You're right.
Then he went back to the traditional facial hair that he's been known for the past 15 years. And then he completely shaves it off, and I'm like, oh.
I heard he's having surgery. Maybe he has to shave.
Maybe. Yeah, he is going to be undergoing hip surgery here in the next days or week or so, which also could explain why he lost so much weight. Because I think they said with Mick Foley, he had to lose a bunch of weight before he could have a surgery as well.
Yeah, I read that too. Yeah, which, I mean, good for him. I mean, because
I wish I had that kind of drive.
I don't think he's going to be wrestling for too much longer. That's the rumor, which he should.
Well, this is going to be a hip surgery, so he'll probably.
Well, the Undertaker had hip surgery, and but he only wrestles once a year.
But should he?
Yeah, exactly.
Should he have? Braun Strowman versus Big Show, big man versus big man. These guys have surprisingly had good chemistry with one another. Normally in these big man matches, it's just slow and.
Well, it has to be because you you're not gonna. This is just a slugfest, pretty much. You
Yeah.
can't really do the high flying stuff, or you can. If you're a freak like Brock Lesnar or something, you can do these big spots.
Yeah.
Which they had a few big spots in that match, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Elbow drop from the top rope and the superplex that thankfully they reinforced the ring. They double reinforced it.
Should have collapsed. I like when that happens. It's like
I was waiting for them to go through it.
Yeah.
But during the match, I had noticed that they had hit every part of the cage except for the one near the end. Yeah, near the entrance. I was like, okay, that makes sense at the end. But I was like, I wonder if they're going to be doing something with that. And sure enough, they did. Or maybe they did, and it was just very gentle. I can't remember. But I do remember the match being very enjoyable. Braun Strowman gets the win, pinning Big Show in the ring. Then afterwards, grabs the mic. Brock Lesnar, this is going to be you. Not done with Big Show. I was expecting Braun Strowman to go with the whole "I'm not finished with you," because that has gotten over so well with the crowd. I'm surprised they're not slapping that on shirts. I'm surprised they're not.
They probably will eventually.
So Braun Strowman picks up the Big Show and tosses him through the steel cage, causing it to collapse.
Did you see? Have you seen the comparison of like that's how he came into WWE? Kind of like the first night he was in WWE. That's what he did to Stone Cold.
Came up.
Well, he
He came up through the ring and then he tossed him. Yeah,
he threw Stone Cold against the cage and
poetic justice, if you will. Stone Cold is probably laughing.
I'm liking what they were doing with Braun Strowman, and he's really, he's becoming a credible big man. And in that match, was it Great Balls of Fire that he had with Samoa Joe? But he destroyed didn't he beat the shit out of Roman Reigns?
Great Balls was Samoa Joe and
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
But then, I think they're making Brock Lesnar look more human.
Yeah.
To kind of put it to where Braun Strowman might actually have a chance. It was a pretty close. They made it pretty close between him and Samoa Joe, and then he just beat the living crap out of Roman Reigns in the ambulance match, which was stupid at the very end when, of course, Roman Reigns had to go out on top and put him in a, run him over.
Had to crash it.
Yeah, come on.
Put him in the ambulance and crash it.
Yeah, come on.
What are your? I'm just bringing up conversations we've had over the weeks and months on the podcast. What are your thoughts on the excessive camera angles, where it
like shows fans and things like that, or what do you mean? What do you mean?
When they did that particular spot with the ambulance, and they backed up and they changed camera angles like 5 times, and then they did the one on top of the thing that it crashed into. What are your thoughts on that? Does that bug you, or are you okay with it? Do you let it slide?
They've done that a bunch of times, though, man. They did it with the I think the DX bus exploded before, and they did it with, I think, when Vince McMahon's limo exploded. They've done it all, like when they hit Stone Cold with a limo, and he was out for a year. I just think it's what it's become now, and it's they're gonna have.
For whatever reason, I can't suspend my disbelief on that part. It's like. Oh, it's so sudden. They weren't planning this at all. But there's 5 camera angles of it. We got inside the car, we got outside the car, we got above the car.
Oh man, nah, that doesn't bother me anymore. I guess I've watched wrestling for so long. I'm like, hey man.
The first time I brought it up was when it was Wade Barrett and Randy Orton battling inside an elevator. They were backstage brawling, and he throws him into the elevator, and they go in there, and all of a sudden we cut to the inside of the elevator from the security camera, and I'm sitting there going, "There's no way that they're using HD cameras in that venue in that elevator. There's no way."
What I never got was whenever there was a fight in the back, there's nobody there. They'd be like, "Oh, there's a hallway, just a complete empty hallway," and you're telling me there's nobody, eating or talking, anything. There's just a random empty hallway.
They try to do that now. They have. Like whenever they're walking down the halls, you'll see people on their cell phones or something along those lines. They try to make it a little.
Yeah, because it was terrible. It was like, really? Then all of a sudden, everybody from the roster shows up. Because it was so loud. The fight was so loud, they just had to all come to the hallway, and they all show up at the same time. Like, Well, they magically all show up to the hallway at the same time? Were they all in the other locker room together hanging out?
Yeah.
Just not in that one hallway? Like, yeah. Okay.
Or when they had that big pull apart between Lesnar and Roman, and Angle came out and just starts waving, "Come on, everybody, get out here!" And they all just like come out one at a time,
all
straight in
the
line.
monitor waiting for him to go. Oh, let's go. Yeah, no,
it's like have like 3 or 4 come out in a spurt, and then you know, okay, I had to finish tying my shoe. Anywho, that's how Raw concluded. SmackDown, we got to see some backstage messages from Orton and Nakamura. We got to see. Did you get to see any of SmackDown?
Not much. No.
Man.
I've usually followed on Facebook, and I'll see different clips and things like that.
They had a good confrontation between Shane and Owens.
I did see that. Yeah, when they talked about his kids or whatever, and had flipped his bitch switch, and he just went off. Yeah,
throwing the fastest hands you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Shane can throw those fists, let me tell you.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know. I mean, I like Shane McMahon. He's great and all, but
it reminds me of a cat.
Yeah, he has like a T-Rex hands to me.
Yeah.
Like T-Rex. It's like, it's like, come on, man.
It's like I'm landing on. That's what counts.
Yeah, he can hit you 9,000 times, but he's barely hitting you. It's like, wow. Did
you watch the? Speaking of landing hits, did you see the Mayweather McGregor fight?
I saw the first few rounds, and it was okay. I was just like, pretty anticlimactic. And then once McGregor was getting his ass beat, I was like, well, screw this. He's gonna lose, so I'm gonna turn this off. Once I saw he was losing like every round past the 4th or 5th, I was like, I'm just gonna turn this off because it's not gonna end good. And then a little bit later, he got TKO'd. I'm like,
I got so many like go to hell looks because I was like, Mayweather's winning this.
Yeah, and
I'm rooting for McGregor, but Mayweather's winning this.
Me too. I was rooting for McGregor.
No, he's gonna win.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, just look at the facts.
Yeah,
the greatest boxer of all time. Period.
Arguably.
Well, okay, but pretty much all time. The best defensive boxer of all time.
Sure,
for sure. 49-0. Here's a guy who's never boxed. Well, no, he did box, but it's like amateur. I mean, even if he was a pro, how many pro fights has he had? I guarantee you he's never been up against one of the guys top 10 in the world, let alone number 1.
I did.
You can't expect a guy who's never been past 5 rounds to go 12 rounds with somebody.
Yeah. I did chuckle at the times where McGregor was just like, screw this, and start throwing hammer fists.
Yeah, that was funny. I did
head.
like when they were tied up, he was just fucking hitting in the back of the head. I'm like, is that even legal? I don't think so. But
no, and that ref was being very lenient.
Yeah.
Because at one point, he grabbed McGregor and was like, get your head up.
Yeah. I mean,
he was like, I'm not taking a point away, so get your ass up.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, I honestly, I was getting ridiculed for even going for McGregor. I just wanted to see him knock him out. Just because. It's the guy, I mean, I think
that's why a majority of people watch the Mayweather fights. They're like, I just want to see someone knock him out.
Yeah, and then, I mean, did you watch, it was kind of, for a while I thought, because I was watching these Showtime, did you watch the documentaries? They had like little Showtime documentaries. Like the UFC Embedded, did you ever see those?
No.
It's like behind the scenes, like the week before the fight, they'll follow them around.
Yeah.
It was almost like they were portraying, it was like Apollo Creed and Rocky. It would show, all it showed was McGregor training. That's all it showed. But Mayweather showed him at the strip club he owned. It showed him eating Whoppers. It showed him just hanging out, roller skating with his family, going to the mall, buying his kids. Like, I think they went to this, I forgot what store it was in Vegas, dropped $50,000 on school clothes and backpacks. That's all it showed.
Yeah.
They were basically portraying to me they
were trying to hype it up.
The storyline of the underdog versus
he's not taking it seriously.
Yeah. And then I was like, hey.
All right, we'll find out.
Yeah.
But, I thought for what it was, I got my money's worth. It was an enjoyable fight.
You paid for it? Okay.
we paid for it.
I paid for it too, man.
Well, what happened is it was right as the rains were starting to come in. And so I was worried that we were going to lose satellite signal. Yeah. So I was like, crap, we got to come up with something else.
Yeah.
And so my wife was like, well, tell you what, why don't we see if there's another alternative? And so I really wanted to watch it in HD, so I didn't want to go through certain methods. So I brought up my Xbox, and I was like, okay, there's a UFC TV app or whatever. You can watch it on there. Yeah. And so I was like, you want to do that? And she was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So order it, watch the press conferences, the weigh-ins and all that, and getting ready for it. And I was like, because you couldn't tune in and watch the prelims.
Oh, you couldn't?
Yeah, it had a little countdown.
Oh, it just showed the main event?
Yeah, the stream.
Well, that's
no,
on it? Well,
no,
no.
it didn't. It showed the full
card.
the card, but the prelims that were televised somewhere else, we didn't have a chance.
Right.
The stream crashed.
Oh,
like,
God.
The whole thing was down. Their website was down. The streaming was down. Like, you could not watch that fight.
Damn.
We ended up getting a refund, and we made a judgment call, and we were like, we'll see about getting our money back. So we ordered it again through DirecTV, and thankfully the satellite feed only hiccuped like once.
My main concern was like, I'm not a big boxing fan.
Yeah.
And I saw the card, and it was like, how many
Who are
matches?
these
Like
people?
7. Yeah, it was like 7 or 8 fights before that. I was like, my whole deal was I would be afraid, and the fight didn't start till almost midnight or 11 or 11:30.
11, yeah.
So I'm like, I was afraid I'd fall asleep, and I'm like, and I'd wake up.
Money well
Yeah,
spent.
and I'd wake up after the fight's over. I'm like, oh well, shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
Just
So-
don't even look at your phone. Just go right to the TV.
I looked at my phone and I found something to watch. And I got to watch that fight somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good.
On the old YouTubes.
Yeah. That was where it was. Yeah.
Blame YouTube. Government. Yeah. I thought it was a good fight. For what it was, it was enjoyable.
At least they were scrapping at least. And
they were nice enough to go 10 rounds and let people get their money. And
I mean, honestly, I was kind of worried because everybody was like, well, they're not going to fight. And McGregor and Mayweather's going to run. He didn't really run that much. No.
I was actually surprised at that.
So I was impressed that he didn't. And I was like, well, that's good, because if they were, I would have turned that shit off real fast.
Yeah. The first 3 rounds, everyone was looking at me. Oh, look at your boy. Look at your boy. He's not doing it. I'm like,
I don't know. I thought didn't they say he won like the first 4 rounds?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. McGregor did. And I was like, he's giving him a chance.
Right.
Like, he's studying him. He's watching what he's doing. He's analyzing, and he's getting ready to attack.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, this fight's over. He's going down. And sure enough, round number 5, we got ourselves a little fight. And, round 6, Mayweather's being the aggressor. Round 7, Mayweather's getting some good shots. Round 8, Mayweather's taking him out. Round 9, McGregor's looking wobbly. 10th round, it's all over. And I'm like, I told y'all.
Yeah. After 5, it was like,
it was happening.
I guarantee, after 5, you're like, well, I could tell he was getting gassed.
Yeah.
So you could just like
5th round, I was like, he's done.
And once he started
he's
taking,
not winning.
Yeah, once he started taking shots, I'm like, no, yeah, he's done. There's no way he's going to come back from this. There's no way.
I had joked, since the match was already a circus as it was.
Right.
What they should have done is, if they had gotten to round 12, MMA rules.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been great.
Yeah. I love
Because then McGregor wouldn't have been so aggressive in the first few matches.
Right.
He would have just kind of, all right, let's just get to that round.
I love the press conferences. The press conferences were great. I didn't like the one in New York. I like the one in Canada. Was good. And
I felt like neither one of them came out looking good after the press conferences.
Well, his whole security team, Mayweather's, was like, dude, come on. Why are you gonna you're gonna get in the guy's face? It kind of makes you look like a bitch. But I mean,
he is fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. For what it was fine. Going back to Smackdown, they had a Shane Owens brawl, had to be broken up by the referees, and Dana Bryan came out. What are you doing, Shane? You can't be doing that. Natalya defeats Carmella. During the match, James Ellsworth hops up on the apron and accidentally drops the briefcase into the match. The referee picks it up and is like, are you cashing in? And Carmella's, no, what are you doing? No. And that ended up costing her the match. Then she broke up with James Ellsworth.
Oh, no.
Saying, we're through, we're done. But later that night, they kissed and made up.
That's sweet.
Literally,
Yeah. Oh.
Carmella kissed James Ellsworth.
She must make a lot of money. A lot.
And then she slapped him across the face and said, now we do things my way.
There we go. That's like normal. There we go. Like any marriage.
Just like just like every time that they've had air time together, they're doing things Carmella's way. He gets out of line.
Yeah, right.
But now she's running the show.
I don't get that whole relationship with him, the Ellsworth and her. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know. I don't get it.
He was a charity case for her. She, got him some new styles, new threads, and then she wasn't his girlfriend. She was his girlfriend.
Right.
But all of a sudden she kissed him. So I don't know what they're doing now. We got to see Dolph Ziggler's re-debut as he came out by himself. Nothing flashy, and said, so you're not going to pop hard for that? You don't deserve me.
I did see that, yeah.
You don't deserve me. Let me show you what else I have. Came out in John Cena's music, freaking out. Came out in Naomi's music. Came out with Macho Man.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
And he was like, all right, y'all don't deserve me.
I don't know what he's going to have to do. It's kind of like, he's been around for so long. It's kind of like, what do you do now? I don't really
Call
know.
it a career.
No, I don't think maybe he'll be an actor. I don't know. But
yeah.
he'd
be fine in acting.
But I mean, he's done so much. I don't think they're ever going to give him the world title unless somehow what he's doing now is going to get over, which is probably not.
No.
They'll just kill it like they do everything else with him. And it's unless the people get really behind what he's doing, which it's not going to happen. I doubt. Hope it does because he's a great worker. I think he's a great worker. But he just he oversells way too much, and
he would need to change his repertoire.
Yeah. And now I think WWE's going to more like they're bringing guys in like Nakamura, who's like strong style, which they're not. I mean, you can tell when he dropped Cena on his head. Was it a few weeks ago?
That was accidental.
Oh yeah, but still, I mean, that's the kind of style that's going to start happening a lot more if they don't realize that. They better smarten up.
Yeah.
Because that's going to start happening with these guys from NXT and ROH.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a norm.
That's making me really look forward to the next takeover.
But, I mean, on one hand, it's good because people are liking that style.
Yeah.
But injuries are going to happen a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to have to get used to that fact. I mean, look how many people are getting pushes, and then, look, Asuka just got hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, Bayley just got hurt. That style's going to hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know how long they're going to let that style go before they realize, oh, shit, man, we can't, like, until John Cena or like what happens to Roman Reigns.
John Cena will be able to hang at least.
Well, like Brock Lesnar. I'm surprised Brock Lesnar hasn't killed Roman Reigns yet because that guy, I mean, even though he doesn't do a lot of the riskier stuff, but he just goes balls to the walls. He just hits
hard.
Yeah, I mean,
he doesn't know his own strength when he's in the ring.
I mean, how many times can you take a German and eventually he's going to get put on his head with a German and
I think he did that to Cena a time or two.
Yeah. So, I mean, hell, that's going to catch somebody one day, and their neck's going to be screwed up, and they're going to be out for a while.
Yep.
And Vince is going to be like, oh, damn, what did I do? I mean, not that I don't like that style. I do like it, but you just can't wrestle that style forever.
No.
You can't.
After that, we got to see Aiden English quickly defeat Sami Zayn, and it was very odd.
Sami Zayn lost? What?
Yeah, shockingly.
Aiden English, what tag team was he in? What was that?
Vaudevillains.
Yeah, man.
With former guest of the podcast, Simon Gotch.
Man, I wish, WWE needs that guy back. He was great.
Yeah. He was a really cool dude to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
You go back and listen to the interview with him. It was pretty cool. We found out that Shane McMahon has been suspended indefinitely. Found out later on that night that Vince McMahon is going to be returning to SmackDown next week. So something to look forward to.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
Usually it's Raw, but
they're actually building next week's SmackDown pretty big because they're going to be in Las Vegas, so they're calling it Sin City SmackDown. We've already got like 3 championship matches.
Yeah, the tag team matches. What is it? A Sin City street fight?
Yeah.
Between the Usos and the New Day?
Yeah.
That looks like it's going to be pretty good.
That'll be a good one. We're going to see AJ Styles versus Ty Dillinger for the United States Championship. And then we're going to see Naomi and Natalya for the Women's Championship.
I just can't get behind Natalya for some reason. I hate to be a negative, but I just can't. I don't know. She's been there so long, and it's like, oh, they give her the title. It's like almost they put the title on her just because she's been there so long. It's like you don't really know.
They got to have something for the next season of Total Divas.
Oh, that's right, and Total Bellas.
No, she's not on Total Bella.
That's right, which comes on tonight.
Oh, do you need to get home? Are you missing?
I don't
it?
have cable, dude. I have I have Netflix and all that shit. So yeah, no, I'll watch it somewhere.
Yeah,
probably.
You can watch Total Bellas.
That show was pretty good, man. Well, my wife loved it. It's on the network. I don't know how long it'll be before that episode's on the network, but
God.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah,
you gotta have John Cena. If you don't get enough of John Cena on Raw, you can always get him on the Total Bellas.
What's one more hour?
Where he's wearing a suit and drinking wine all day long. Come on, man.
Making rules.
Yeah.
I will say that the Miz and Maurice reenactment of Total Bellas, that was pretty good stuff.
That was great. I love that.
I'll watch that. Mm-hmm. I won't watch the actual Total Bellas. I'll watch that.
Did y'all get to talk about that promo that the Miz did with John Cena and he interrupted John Cena and Roman Reigns, and he just went off.
Oh yeah,
I'll get to talk about that. That was a great promo.
Yep.
He just said, "You've had your time. shut the hell up. I'm sick of it.
Sick of you guys getting chance after chance.
Yeah. It was just true, man. I really agree with that.
Mm-hmm. The main event saw Shinsuke Nakamura defeat Randy Orton. And one thing that I found really interesting about this episode of Smackdown, if you go back and watch, they had Jinder Mahal in one of the press boxes, watching from the suites or whatever. They panned over his shoulder. The entire other half of the venue empty. Black sheeted over.
Oh, they showed the black sheet?
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, there is no one there.
Damn.
Like they had half an arena.
I mean,
I don't know if maybe it was just that particular venue or
what town. Do you know what town they were in?
I do not.
I mean, some of those towns you hear like
it'd be like here. They would just move everyone over to one side and
yeah. I mean, because I think the last event I went to, but I don't know. The last event I went to was pretty packed.
Yeah.
It was I think Cena was there. Cena and Rollins were.
That might have been the last time they came here.
Yeah, and I know one thing. They it was Roman Reigns came the last time before that, and nobody showed up.
Yeah,
Cena wasn't there, but the time Cena was there, oh my God, it was like double the amount of people. People talk about Cena, but shit, people show up.
Yeah,
Roman Reigns.
Those kids go there.
Oh yeah, my sons were like, oh, John Cena, we gotta go. Okay,
like no.
And he was actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So yeah, that pretty much does it for Raw and SmackDown. Like I said, we have a lot of hot topics to cover. Some we've covered just over the course of doing the show, like Big Show undergoing his hip surgery and all that. JBL has left SmackDown commentary. Thank God.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of him.
I was for a short time, and then it quickly went away because it's so repetitive and he does this shtick so much.
Mm-hmm. He's like the typical heel.
Yeah.
It's like it was
ball
good.
Game.
Yeah, it's good. After a while it gets kind of old, and then you hear personal stories of just like, man, this guy's just a dick. I mean,
so he's going off to help underprivileged kids or whatever play rugby.
So basically now he's kind of get his image back because they were like, oh shit.
They made sure to save face with him. He's still part of the WWE family and all.
He's going to do WrestleMania. He's going to do the biggest shows.
Yeah.
Why? Get Jim Ross.
He didn't. Yes. Or Jerry the King Lawler, dude. Yeah. Lawler on Raw last week.
Yeah.
It felt so good.
That's what. I don't know why they don't use Lawler. He's awesome.
Mm-hmm. He has his days.
Well, but I mean,
that particular week he was really good.
Well, I mean, man, him and JR were just
better than Otunga.
Well, yeah, come on. Or that Tom Phillips guy. I don't like that guy either.
Tom Phillips is one of those straight shooter guys. Yeah. Like he doesn't have anything spectacular about him, but he's doing an okay job.
He's like a young Michael Cole. Well, because I mean, when I was younger,
well, you know who's in his ear? Michael Cole.
Oh yeah. Well, what's good? I mean, what's crazy to think of is like I remember when I was a teenager, like during the Attitude Era, like Michael Cole was just a backstage reporter, and now he's. I mean, really, honestly, he's one of the best announcers.
Frosted tip.
Yeah,
and all that.
He's one of the best announcers ever. I mean. I don't know. I don't know, man. I think he's the best guy the WWE has right now. Who do you think? Who would you go with?
Well, you got Morrow over on NXT.
Oh, okay. That guy.
He brings the excitement of JR.
He does.
He's got his shtick too, but when Cole is into it, he's good. Mm-hmm. Lately, they've been trying. It sounds like they've been trying to get more into the matches. Oh my God!
Right.
Like they're trying to make it sound more devastating.
That's what they need the King for. I mean, because he brings the emotion.
So, Cole is good whenever the emotion is in him.
Yeah.
But if it's not, it's just whatever. Take it or leave it. It's fine.
Right.
So, but Corey Gray is going to be pulling double duty. He's going to be taking over SmackDown.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that guy. He's
the best heel commentator going right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
definitely, and I like the fact. I like the fact that he uses he'll use historical references of people a lot of people don't know, which is good because I think some of the younger generation of fans need to know about the older guys.
Sure.
And maybe and they have all the tools to look up these guys. They have the network they can watch 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Look up the stuff that he's talking about because you'll learn a lot about wrestling.
Some of the pop culture references are hit and miss, but or some he'll stretch for it. He'll make a stretch.
Right, he's just trying to connect with something that
winter is coming.
Yeah. I don't watch Game of Thrones. Sorry.
Oh man.
Yeah.
missing out on a
Sorry.
good
Yeah.
show.
I'm telling you, I watch wrestling when I can, and
Whatever's on Netflix.
pretty much, yeah. That's
Do you have
about it,
Hulu?
yeah. No, I used to have Hulu. We got it for like a month, and I was like, nah.
Not enough.
No, now we watch. My wife, watch Big Brother, things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm
My
into
wife
that.
is all into Big Brother. She's
So
probably
basically,
watching it
that right
now.
there is your entire summer.
Yeah.
So we don't have cable, so you have to watch it on CBS.com later,
Mm-hmm.
or other ways of watching it.
Yeah.
Some sites, so you watch that because you can't watch it live. So yeah, you got to stay off Facebook because you don't want to find out what happens because then it ruins everything.
My wife's family, they're
Mhm.
like all into it. They watch the 24/7 stuff on their laptop.
Yeah, I can't do the live.
I mean, it
feeds.
has like highlights and stuff,
Yeah.
so you can skip all the mindless sitting around, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, here's what's actually
They need
going
to just
on."
have fight, label it fight this time, and be like, instead of just live feed.
Well,
like,
there are
dude,
websites that do that. It's like,
Really?
hey, here's the important
Uh-huh.
stuff. Here's the camera that
Is
you
there-
need to be on, and
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't want to see these dudes eating cereal. I don't even like watching myself do that.
here's when they banged, and
Yeah, exactly. Which is stupid because they're like, they're covered up, so you can't really see anything.
yeah. But yeah, she'll hook up the laptop to the TV, and she'll want to watch it on there. And,
Right.
all right, that's fine. So whatever makes her happy. I get into it just
Well,
through
yeah.
watching it with her. So, yeah. But let's talk about this sexy star Rosemary incident. Have you seen this? Have you heard
I've
about
heard,
this?
yeah, I've followed it on Facebook and social media talking about, this.
We're probably last to report on it.
Well, she's getting blackballed. Well, I mean, not saying she don't deserve it, but I mean, yeah, you just can't go. But I've seen her because I've seen stories. Then actually got to read in her English version of the story in English how it was translated, and she was like, "Well, she never complained to me, and blah blah." So I thought everything was cool, but I mean, wrestling. I mean, I was also told, "Hey, man, wrestling. You're supposed to protect your opponent."
Yeah.
But then I've also been told, "Hey, man, being a pussy." Like, but I mean, unless you just
Not in today's generation, sir.
well, yeah. But it's also, I mean, hey, shit happens, but you should never go and purposely try to hurt somebody.
Right.
Which she's gonna, I think she's gonna use the whole thing. Well, this style, because I saw her say, "Well, Mexican style is this way, and American is like lucha's one way," and we always talk to the person I wrestle before the match, and we make sure everything's cool. And she never talked to me, and I was like, "What?
Like, don't make excuses.
Yeah,
just apologize.
Yeah, just say you're sorry and
so
say, hey,
sorry.
my bad."
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that
Whether it was intentional or not,
Right.
you need to apologize.
exactly. Well, she should have apparently because she's getting blackballed out of it. I mean, she was stripped
Yeah.
of her title.
Yep.
She's getting bookings canceled, comic conventions canceled, all kind of shit.
Yeah.
Which I mean, not saying it's not deserved, but
I mean, all the other wrestlers who have podcasts are all like,
oh really?
screw
They're-
you, Edge and
Right.
Christian. They're like, that's bullshit. You should
Right.
not. You should never, under
Yeah.
any circumstances, try and hurt your opponent.
Right. Oh,
to
yeah.
the legit form. And Jericho came out and
Jericho said he's never gonna have her on a podcast again, didn't he?
Yeah, which I don't think she speaks English. So
Yeah,
that's
good. That's good. That's
Ooh,
good to know,
that'll
Jericho.
show her.
Yeah, she's never gonna go on your Canadian podcast.
Yeah. Oh well. So yeah, I mean it sucks. It's part of the business, but it sucks. It's not the
Yeah, I
good
mean,
part.
you see it all over now. I mean, a lot of these older guys are getting. I mean, they're not going to get jobs like Scott. I've heard Scott Steiner stories, just him being a total dick, and just it's just. I mean, eventually you're going to have to.
Were you
learn-
at Comic Palooza the year he was there?
No, I don't go to comic conventions. What was he just a total douchebag?
He grabbed the mic. He was about to kick the shit out of somebody, and there were just kids everywhere.
See, that's what I mean, dude. You got. I mean, I don't know if it's roid rage.
You
or
gave
you
him a
just-
live mic. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean, but that's what's funny. It's like these people that get these comic conventions, they have no clue, which is so stupid to me. Like, oh, we're gonna get Scott Steiner. Well, do you know what comes along with getting Scott Steiner?
Don't give him a microphone.
Exactly. I mean, you need to realize, hey, man, if you do that, you better have insurance, or you better make sure you don't ever want to do this again.
Have a lawyer standing by.
Exactly, because something's gonna happen. He's either gonna hurt somebody, or he's gonna curse. Like you said, he's gonna curse in front of 10,000 kids, and then it's gonna be on you because you're the person that brought him in.
At Comic Palooza, I've met him, Piper, the year before he died.
Wow.
Like the year he died.
Damn.
$1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. I forget who else. Lita, Hurricane, a few others. It's pretty. I mean, it's fun to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm a big nerd, so who cares? Yeah. Other hot topic news: the Young Bucks have received a cease and desist from WWE for doing the crotch chop. Apparently, they had permission and now they don't. So, didn't know you could stop someone from making a gesture. Didn't know that was copyrighted. Didn't know you could do that. Didn't know it was trademarked.
I could, or a move. I mean, because they overuse the super kick like it's going out of style. Yeah. I mean, I didn't mean if they can't. Are they suing them for that too? Like they put a cease and desist on the super kick or no?
No.
You figure they'd be able to do that before the cross chop. I don't know.
And is there a certain way that they do it that prevents it? Like,
I don't know.
Is it making the X with your arms? Is that the illegal part, or is it just can they do one arm and then the other arm and like an alternate
the bushwhacker style?
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
What's the legality here?
I never liked the X crotch chop. I just like the normal crotch chop. I always like that one better.
But they're X.
Yeah, but that was But
I'm X-Pac. My thing is,
that's
I'm
cool.
X-Pac.
X-Pac, yes, but everybody else no. But I don't know, man. I'm not the biggest fan of the Young Bucks anyway. Because they're getting big off of. I mean, I'm not saying their matches aren't exciting to some extent, but after a while of just super kick after super kick after super kick, it just, I don't know, it gets boring to me.
Yeah.
But the thing with them is, I mean, the kids that watch these guys, they weren't born. This makes me feel old as shit.
You are old as shit.
Yeah, I am old as shit. But it makes me think, man, do these kids not remember this? I'm like, no, they don't, because they weren't freaking born yet. So all this stuff is new to them. All the crotch chops, all the super kicks,
Bullet Club.
The
Too Sweet.
They're the new, the Too Sweets. That was
as this generation's
1997. That was the coolest shit to do.
20 years ago, sir.
Exactly, 20 years ago. So half these kids that are watching it, these 16-year-olds,
they weren't even born.
Exactly. So it's like, well, I guess they need to be taught the crotch chop, just like
back when I was your age.
Yeah, man. That's what. Man, another thing. It just makes me feel old when I watch these newer wrestlers because it's not the same style, But every style, I think I'm trying to be more open-minded with the styles.
Yeah.
It's like every style has its place.
When you see the new style on TV, it's one thing. When you're there in person watching it, it's actually a lot of fun.
Is it?
Yeah. Like if you ever get a chance to go to, like, I don't know if you're making any kind of plans to go see WrestleMania this coming year in New Orleans.
See, man, honestly, I want to go take my kids. I want to take my kids to WrestleMania, but New Orleans is just that environment.
That's not the place to do it. I'll probably, if I have the say so, I'm probably never going back to New Orleans ever again.
Right. I'm honestly same here because I don't like New Orleans. Period. I went one time and I'll never go back again.
Me too.
It's honest. Hey man, you live in New Orleans, sorry, but that is the dirtiest. I got sick. I mean, me and my wife got a stomach bug, so we didn't really. I wish I could.
You didn't get like the full experience.
I didn't get the full experience, but honestly, I was there for 4 days, and half of it I spent in a hotel room by the toilet. But the 2 days I was out in the city, it was just gross. Yeah. My wife's like, hey, let's go find this place. Ask this guy. I'm like, I'm not asking that heroin addict right there where this crap is. I'll go somewhere else. I'll just walk, and then you just stepping over, and it just stinks. I'm like, I'll go to Houston.
Yeah, I'm not a big heavy drinker. I'm not a big partier. Right. So Bourbon Street has no real big appeal to me. Like I'll go and be like, oh yeah, there's a bar. Oh, there's another bar.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'll go drink. I mean, I'll drink with anybody, but it's like I don't really go to a city that I'm not comfortable in. I've never been to before. I'm not gonna go get sloshed and just. Oh, I wonder why my wallet's gone now. Yeah. Well, it's probably because you went to a bar that nobody goes to and you got drunk.
The wrestling aspect of New Orleans that we went to, the shows that came in, we had an absolute blast. Right. Like, we got to see Ring of Honor. We got to see Evolve Wrestling. We got to see Kaiju, Big Battle. Those were all fun and exciting. But the city itself, pass. Like, whenever we went to the Royal Rumble this year in January, San Antonio, man, we had the time of our lives.
San Antonio, I love San Antonio.
Oh man, I love San Antonio.
Right,
it was beautiful. But it's one of those things where like we got to go see Evolve. Like we saw Chris Hero's final performances there. for Evolve before he got called up to the main roster, or up to NXT at least,
Right.
Cassius Ohno. So if you get the chance, go to one of the WrestleMania weekends.
Yeah.
Don't go to like the Access stuff. I mean, the Access stuff
I've been to that. But yeah, I want to start, like, I've seen what y'all do. I've seen y'all talk about, we go to Evolve, and I would just like to go see NXT. And my ultimate WrestleMania weekend probably would be like this. I'd go to NXT, check that out. I want to go to a Hall of Fame. I've always just wanted to go to a Hall of Fame just to check it out. Now my kids, that's what I was like, it's kind of iffy. Like, my kids would go to the hotel or do whatever. See, I'd be the only one that wouldn't go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and I'm willing to pass on the Hall of Fame just because you can go back on the network and watch it or whatever. However you want to watch it, you can. Whereas, like, you've got Ring of Honor, who they're going Supercard of Honor. There's WrestleCon that's happening that weekend. So if you want to meet some legends for cheap, you can go there. That was this kind of stuff that we really loved. We were like, we'll pass on Access.
Yeah. Access is, honestly, Access is just for kids, to be honest. It's
like, oh, cool, there's the cage, there's this, there's that. There's stuff to do. There's some of the superstars that you have to wait 3 hours in line to get a picture. And, but, man, we had such a great time doing the indie circuits. Like, we had calendar mapped out here from this hour to this hour. Here's where we're going to be.
Here's your itinerary.
Yeah.
You almost needed an assistant to, sir.
Just about. Like, I had like 3 envelopes. I'm not kidding. One for each of us in case, okay, in case you need to know, here's where we're going. So
I would like to see a Ring of Honor show. I've never been to a Ring of Honor show. I really do want to check that out.
I would like I said, the WrestleMania weekend, because they have their Supercard. That's their WrestleMania. So you're going to get to see some of the best wrestling, the Evolve shows, the Dragon Gate guys were there. Kaiju Big Battle, that was a comedy show.
Okay.
They
put Doomsday type deal, or
similar to it.
Like that?
They have people dressed up in giant monster costumes, and they set up like cardboard buildings in the ring so that they, similar to Godzilla, where they're just like towering over the buildings, and whenever they crash through them and all that.
Oh, wow. I need to.
But that show didn't start until midnight.
Oh, see, that's crazy, man. I wouldn't last it.
You're getting old, man.
Was it Dragon Gate? There was a guy when I went to Houston to train every so often, like a way long time ago, and he wrestled. He used one of the rings to kind of train with one of the guys that spoke. He didn't really speak any English. His name's Shingo. I wonder if he still wrestles on it. Does that name sound familiar? I don't know. But he was, man, it was fun to just hang out with those guys because, those guys can go.
Yeah.
It's insane. They were like, it was crazy. They would ask us for advice. I was like, hey, man, I'm just here to work out. And I'm like, what do you think about this? I'm like, well, that's cool.
Probably the coolest story that we have as far as like the Evolve shows and all that we went to in New Orleans is that, they opened the venue and, but when we got there really early, so technically we weren't supposed to be in. But like they have a table where they all line up and you take pictures and buy shirts and all that. We just walked inside because it was in an auditorium. It wasn't an auditorium. It was similar to the Jefferson Theater. It was a theater room. And they had the
stage of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
The ring was up on the stage, and so we go in there and we sit down, and we're just like sitting off into the shadows, whatever, and trying not to disturb anyone because the guys are going through their routines.
Oh, okay.
So we're like, oh shit, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Usually
think
when
we're
any
supposed to be in
fans
here.
like at our shows, we were like, hey man, there's fans.
Yeah.
Go to the back or whatever.
Yeah. And so we're sitting there just casually, chit chatting with one another. Oh, dude, that's there's Gulag. Oh, there's
okay,
such and such. All of a sudden, these other groups of guys start filtering in.
Right.
Dude walks past us, goes up to them, and is like, "Hey guys, you aren't supposed to be in here. We're not open for fans yet." And they point to us and they go, well, "What about those guys sitting right there?" And they go, "They're not causing a scene. Get out." So
that's pretty cool.
We're like, hell yeah, we're in with these guys.
Do you have your podcast shirt on?
Yeah.
No, so maybe we're like, oh, well, these guys might be good.
No, they'd be like, podcast, get the fuck away.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We don't want you digging up dirt. Shit. That's how a lot of wrestlers are these days now.
Yeah, I've heard that podcasts don't have the best.
Podcasts are like getting bad reputations because there's so many now. Yeah. And so it's like, hey, come on my podcast where I have 12 listeners and, I'm just going to ask you all kinds of shitty questions.
Yeah, just to be a dick. Well, y'all's are pretty reliable, man. You've had plenty of decent guests on your show. I mean,
I kind of I've reworded a few of my emails a couple times, and since we're recording inside of a radio station, I'm emailing you from the radio station, and we've got a sports network. And
smart, man.
Yeah, whatever I can do to, and it's legit.
Yeah,
we still have our picture on the sports page, so go up and check it out. We're still there. But yeah, it's gotten to the point where it's like, well, if I want to go and talk to someone, I'll just go on Stone Cold Steve Austin's, or I'll go to Chris Jericho's, or Jim Ross, or whatever. That's fine. We'll get a star every once in a while. It doesn't bother me. Other hot topic news we'll talk about. Try and zip through because I'm sure you're probably.
I mean, it's all good, man. If you got time, I got time.
All right.
I ain't worried about it.
Kenny Omega has suffered a knee injury and expected to be out of action until September 22nd. So a couple weeks out.
2 weeks for a knee injury? Wow, that's
well,
what's he doing? I mean,
it had something to do.
ACL
I think, I believe it was
or something. Or
yeah,
it's only 2 weeks. I mean, I've had my ACL replaced, so and I was just reffing when it tore. So I mean, I can only imagine tearing your ACL in a match. I mean, I tore mine in a match.
It was something to do with his ACL, I believe.
Well,
so
2 weeks, he better just put some ice on it then. Mm-hmm. Put a brace on, and hey.
Yeah, you'll be fine. They announced that WWE Monday Night Raw is going to be broadcasting on Christmas night and New Year's Day. Normally, they tape the shows in advance to give the talent time off to be with their families. Not the case this year.
Yeah, I did show on there that I think the Hardys' wives are all pissed off. Like, that chick, she needs to shut up. You're going to get your husband fired. Please. I'm not on Twitter, so she can't block me. So screw her.
I got blocked by JBL because he said that Michael Cole was the greatest commentator of all time. And I said, dude, do you not remember JR? And that got me blocked.
Or Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah.
Bobby Heenan. I mean, he's up there, but hell no.
Yeah. I'm sorry. He's not.
Get him on your podcast. See if JBL will be on your podcast.
Shit. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Yeah. You'll never get it.
Hey, man, remember that time you blocked me on Twitter? What's up with that? You want to unblock me? Other bit of news, CM Punk in the world of MMA, since we kind of talked about it, he is awaiting confirmation on his next MMA fight.
Really? I mean, what? I mean,
I saw
he's not
joking.
gonna. If he fights in UFC, which it confirms that UFC is nothing but about money, because that guy's nobody gives a shit about. I mean, I hate to say this, you might think differently. I don't think anybody gives two shits about CM Punk anymore.
Yeah.
I really
there's
don't.
still the fans that are holding on. Maybe he'll
not
come
even
back.
that. I mean, everybody's all
never say never.
I don't know, man. I mean, he might. I mean, if he came back to wrestling, hey, cool. He should.
He
come
wouldn't
back.
come back to WWE. He'd go to Japan or Ring of Honor.
Don't
or
think?
something.
I bet you he'd go back to WWE. He ain't gonna. He's used to that money now. He ain't gonna go back to Ring of Honor. And
Is he though? Like, I don't see him like splurging that often.
I don't know. You ever seen those? Like, I'm telling you, watch those embedded episodes where he was training and Duke Rufus's in Milwaukee. They showed his house, and fool ain't hurting for money. I know that much.
Yeah.
His crib looks pretty nice, but yeah, he needs to go back to WWE because he ain't gonna be doing shit else anywhere.
I saw someone joke about they were trying to revamp Dolph Ziggler, get that that heel pop from the crowd. How effective would it have been? Like, he went out as John Cena's music, went out as Naomi's. The last one he used a CM Punk's
That would
thing.
be awesome.
That would have made the crowd flip out.
Oh yeah, he would have a huge pop for that one.
It would have booed the hell out of him too.
If he does fight in MMA, I don't think it's going to be for UFC because that last fight was horrendous. I mean,
which I think a lot of people were expecting.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, that's what's funny.
Similar to Mayweather McGregor.
Yeah, that's what I'm
it's
saying.
Like,
people thought McGregor had a shot, and I think a few people thought CM Punk had a shot, but I mean, no. That guy hasn't been training jiu-jitsu long enough to be in there with that guy.
Yeah. In Total Bella's news, so perk your ears up. You'll be happy about this. Nikki Bella is going to be joining Dancing with the Stars. Oh.
Wish I say I watched that show, but I don't.
Oh.
That's too bad, yeah.
Well, that'll give you a reason to tune in.
Yeah, maybe. Probably not. But.
Get you some Bella action. Instead of planning a wedding or returning to the ring, let's go dancing.
Yeah.
Anywho, switching gears now to GFW, Global Force Wrestling, for those who don't know. also formerly known as Impact. Jeff Jarrett reportedly is taking indefinite leave of absence from TNA Global Force.
Man. It's too bad, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like anybody watched that shit anyway.
Supposedly, from what I heard, is that the owner of Anthem was at Triple Mania, and they saw how Jarrett presented himself.
Oh, really?
And was none too pleased. So
I was wondering, because I've read stories today talking about how Anthem just wants out. They don't even want to have a wrestling show on their product. Or
Sports Illustrated is reporting that.
So I mean, if Sports Illustrated reports, it's a pretty legit source there. I was wondering. I'm glad you told me that about I guess they saw him at Triple Mania.
Dude, you're out of here.
Well, dummy, that's what you get just because you're Jeff Jarrett. Which I hate to say it, not many people, any younger people know who Jeff Jarrett is, or give a crap about who Jeff Jarrett is.
Yeah, and apparently under Anthem's ownership, GFW has been, quote, hemorrhaging funds, and, quote, sources close to the situation are confirming that Anthem is ready to withdraw from the wrestling industry and put GFW for sale.
I'm telling you, Vince is going to buy that.
The company that will never die. How many lives has this company?
I don't know. I get into it. I used to get into it on a daily basis on Facebook with people about
that's
that place.
it. Impact's done. It's dead.
And they're just like, oh, well. And I had this one guy. I don't want to mention
6 years.
I don't want to mention his name, but he used to work for him, and he was friends with Bischoff and blah blah. I'm like, well, that's great and all, but I'm telling you, all the moves they make are not helping them at all. Yeah. Like when they're gonna go to Pop. Like, who the hell watches that? Like, it has less viewers than Spike. So what do you think? Yeah. You can't even watch. Nobody knows where Pop is. Half the people can't even watch it. So it's like, well, they can watch it on the internet. I'm like, I watch wrestling on TV or through, I barely even watch Lucha on Netflix. Yeah. But still, you think I'm going to go search the internet to watch this? You're out of your mind. There's nobody on these shows that I would want to see.
Well, you're in luck, sir, because the last bit of news that we have revolves around GFW. They're set to unveil their own online network where you can see GFW and Impact libraries. Hey!
Or just wait another 6 months and you can watch it on the WWE network.
It's possible.
Oh, yeah. It's going to happen, man.
People have been saying that for 5, 6, 7 years.
If they're saying it's hemorrhaging money now, and they're just,
that's just that company.
Well, either, I mean,
they could easily bring Dixie Carter back.
You're right, but why?
Save the company.
Yeah. Okay.
Turn things around for good.
Sure.
This is the time.
I mean, I'm telling you, WWE's going to own that library.
I'm sure My TV Channel 39 is just begging to scoop up Global Force Wrestling and Impact.
Sure, man. Yeah. And who's on that show?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know either, do you?
Yeah.
And you follow wrestling.
That company.
That guy. And I did see the other day.
Alberto.
Oh, yeah.
Ball game.
Yeah, sure. Okay. That guy. And then their champ is Eli Drake. Never heard of that guy.
From what I hear, he's actually pretty good.
I
haven't watched an episode of Impact.
Saw a picture of him, and he looks like, honestly, he looks like Anderson. Kind of. But
from what I hear, he's really talented on the mic. He's pretty skilled in the ring. So
he'll go to NXT pretty soon. Then watch.
He'll be a good prospect.
Or Bobby Lashley when he goes to MMA, or whatever. Yeah. Isn't Lashley still around?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah.
Him and Alberto El Patron.
That's his name this week.
Yeah. That's what.
Is Patron not suing that guy?
I guess not. So. Anywho, that's going to do it for us this week. Dave, thank you so much for stepping in.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, man. It was a blast.
Certainly had a good time chatting, wrestling, all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah, man.
Do you have any social media that people can follow you on?
I have a Facebook page, but it ain't like all I do is piss off people from GFW, and, that's about what I'd use it for.
Any hopes of season 2 of Ginger and the Jerk?
Man, hopefully, man. We've just been so busy with life, work. My buddy's in school, man. He's taking a full class load, man. So it's just.
See, that's what y'all can do. Instead of doing a weekly show, y'all can do a season.
I think we're going to talk. I think we talked about that. We're going to do like maybe a couple episodes of every couple weeks.
Winter break, summer break.
Stuff like that. But yeah, it's just so tough, man. I applaud you guys, man, because I don't know how you do it.
Dedication.
Hey, man, excellent job, because
Get you away from the house for a while.
If you're not a regular listener to this podcast, you need to be, because it's where you get your news, man.
Hey,
it's a good show.
We appreciate that little
plug.
Man,
no problem.
If you have any questions for the show, make sure to leave it on our YouTube channel, WNS Video, also our Facebook page, WNS Podcast. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com, WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. Subscribe to our show on iTunes, Stitcher, Beyond Pod, Player.fm, Satchel, all the other social media platforms where you can listen to podcast by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast. For Twitter, you can follow us at WNS Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at WNS_Daniel. You can follow Tyler at Tyler_Abear. Follow him on Instagram because he's really wanting those followers. Abear_mode. There you go. That's going to do it for this week for the podcast crew. I am Daniel Herron.
And I'm Dave Brown.
And we will catch you all next week.
Later.